conversation. And whenever you need the videos, you can be able to get the video, whether on the YouTube. There's a channel that I actually, take all these recording videos and put them on a YouTube channel, that everyone who want to rewatch again, they can just go on a YouTube channel, or they can just request for a link, and I can be able to, to send the link to you. Again, each and every week, there's a different topic that we come up with, to share to each other, because of the market. The stock market or the forex market is very big. It's very huge. It's actually the global economic market. There's a lot of things that are actually happening at that market, right? So there's a lot of things that we need to know, a lot. Some of them that I also don't know. I'm still researching it at the moment. So most of the time when I research, I would like to share, with you guys, with everyone who will be able to tune in on a Zoom session each and every Friday. If you have a question, don't forget, you can type on a chat, a comment, you can type on a chat, or you can unmute and ask any type of a question. So today, I just wanted to look on a Nasdaq and the energy stocks. Of course, we've been hearing about the energy stocks like oil, crude oil, Brent oil, rising the price up all the way up. And now maybe if we can go into details, we can learn a little bit of, a small thing about the oil. And next time we can be able to trade this type of instrument. We'll be able also to go on a chart and look on a chart about this instrument, see how we can be able to analyze it directly on a chart if the time will allow us, because we always, have a challenge of time. Okay. All right. So in terms of the Nasdaq, there's a couple of Nasdaq that you will find in a stock market or in a broker, not just the Globex 360, but a different type of a stock market. You can find the different types of, Nasdaq. I'm not sure if you guys know the difference of Nasdaq. How many Nasdaq do we know? Is there anyone who can tell me how many type of Nasdaq do we actually know? Anyone?
I know only of one.
You only know one Nasdaq. Which one is that?
The Nasdaq 100. That's all.
Nasdaq 100. All right. So there's a different type of, nice Nasdaq instrument. And again, they're being offered. Yes, Solomon, you raised the hand.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. No, we have, I don't know, we have about more than 4 Nasdaqs, yeah.
Which one and which one?
It's Nasdaq, USDT.
No, all right. I understand what you are
saying.
NES
100 is there.
But it's not the answer that I'm looking for. But I do understand where you're coming from. Yeah.
Okay. So, all right.
What you are talking about, you are saying we have more than 4 Nasdaq. It's not Nasdaq. We have more than 4 indices, right? Indices that you can trade on the platform. So Nasdaq, it's one of the indices. US 30, it's one of the indices. German 30, it's one of the indices. France 40, it's one of the indices, right? A dollar index, it's an index itself as well. You get me? Now I was talking about Nasdaq only. How many Nasdaq can we find in a stock market? All right. So there's 3 Nasdaq that you can find in a stock market, right? The number one is the Nasdaq 100, the one that we're seeing on the screen. The number 2 is the Nasdaq future, the one that people trade Nasdaq based on the future outcome, right? Then number 3, it's a Nasdaq components. People trade the components of a stock itself, right? So there's a 3. What we offered Globex 360 is just 1. It's Nasdaq 100 because it's an index itself. That's what we currently, offer at the moment. So, okay, we're gonna go into details about that so that we can know better. What is the Nasdaq 100? So the Nas 100, it's a US 100. Some other brokers, you see them, it's been labeled as a US 100. It is an index of the 100 largest and most activity traded companies listed on the New York-based Nasdaq Stock Exchange. So only companies that are listed in a New York Stock Exchange, over 100, they are under Nasdaq. The index serves a benchmark for the large cap of US technology stocks, although it also includes companies in the retail industry, biotechnology, and the health sector. All right. Now, the index, the Nasdaq that you and me, we trade at Globex 360 is this one. It's the biotechnology one. That's the NAS 100 biotechnology. That's why other brokers, they will write a tech 100 because it's a technology, 100 technology companies combined together to be listed in the stock market as an index, right? So you will find the Nasdaq, some of the companies that are listed in the Nasdaq, they are industrial companies and the healthy companies. But most of the industrial and healthy companies, you find them on a Nasdaq future and a Nasdaq component. So what actually drives Nasdaq 100 index that you and me, we buy or sell in the market, it's a biotechnology. So it's a technology that drives that. Now, if you go to Nasdaq future and Nasdaq components, you might find that industrial, the retail and industrial, they're the ones who are driving that. The other one, you might find that the health sectors, they're the ones that are driving that instrument to move in a stock market. Any questions so far? So good. Did we get it, Mr. Solomon?
Yeah, no, it's very clear, Yusuf. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Okay.
All right.
So moving on. So the name Nasdaq, I'm not sure if anyone know what the name Nasdaq means. It's actually abbreviation on a Nasdaq. Anyone can take a try? So it's a National Association of Security Dealers, right? National Association of Security Dealers, automated quotations, the first electronic exchange. So this is a National Association of Security Dealers, automated quotations, right? The tech focused on index was actually launched on 31 January 1985. So long ago, people been trading this tech instrument. Maybe it was not called Nasdaq. It used to call maybe just a tech. A best price by then, it was $250. Right now, that was a best price then. Right now, it's actually sitting at $13,000, $14,000. From 1985 up to now, it pushes that much. So if those people who were alive then, understanding the Nasdaq or understanding the stock market, invested by then, with the $250, they have huge millions of money into this company. Okay, so the Tech Focus Index was also launched on 31 January 1985 with an initial base price of $250. However, after reaching almost 800 on 31 December 1993, the price was reset to 125 on the following day. At the launch, the Nasdaq 100 sought to promote itself in the shadow of the New York Stock Exchange by creating the two separate indexes that we know today. The above mentioned Nasdaq 100, which include the financial stocks, and the Nasdaq Financial 100, which consists of the banks, insurance firms, and the credit brokerage. This is another one that we were talking about the types of Nasdaq. So we can see the differences between the Nasdaq 100 versus Nasdaq Composite, right? Nasdaq 100 includes all companies listed on a Nasdaq stock exchange, covers around 3,000 stocks from all over sector. So again, you see, it's being measured Nasdaq Stock Exchange. So there's a company called Nasdaq. I think Mr. Cheval sent a message. He said Tesla also is melting the Nasdaq. So Tesla as a company, they had to go to a company called Nasdaq and list themselves on their Nasdaq Stock Exchange. After they list the Nasdaq company, they list themselves on a New York Stock Exchange. I don't know if it's making sense. So if I have a company, I go list myself at Globex 360, and Globex 360, they list the company at Johannesburg Stock Exchange. Whoever is trading at Johannesburg Stock Exchange, trading Globex 360, they are also trading my company. Any questions there? All right, Takala said Nasdaq 100, it's a bearish from the morning. It's tough, it's on red. So the Nasdaq composite includes 100 large corp non-financial stocks. So it covers almost 67% of the Nasdaq composite index. So this one covers mostly on a financial stocks, as what I said earlier on. This one covers mostly on tech companies. Yes, Mr. Soli.
Yeah, I wanted to find out on the Nasdaq, is there any South African company that is listed there?
Yes, there is. I don't know if it's a South African company, but there is a company that we know. The company is Car Tracker. See Car Tracker?
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, the ones that we, you know, we get
the orange one.
Yeah, the orange one. Yes.
Oh, okay.
So when the Car Tracker introduced in South Africa, what they were doing, they were only installing the tracker in the cars. And a couple of years later, after they came, they start doing the business, then they list themselves on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. I think the price that time, it was around 250 Rand to buy their stock, you know. Now, after that, they had some sort like a deal. I don't know where they get the deal to install the cameras in the road. So most of the time these days when you're driving, you can see there's a robot having maybe 10 cameras around that, and they're all Car Tracker, right? Introducing that, it gives them the advantage to say that they have a security of us moving around in the road. So traffic department, they can buy data from Car Tracker to say that I want to see how many cars they've been passing here, what accident, and so on and so forth, tags, everything, right? Insurance companies, they can buy data from Car Tracker because they want to know how many cars they're actually passing on those roads and so on and so forth. After they introduced that, their price moved from 250, it goes to 2,000 Rand a share in a Johannesburg Stock Exchange. Then they have a deal with a Nasdaq, listed at the Nasdaq 100 as part of the tech company on the Nasdaq index. The stock again moves, spike up from 2,000, probably right now it's sitting around, I think 14,000 Rand to buy a stock of Car Tracker. So yes, there is one company that we know. Okay, anything else? We good? Let's move on. Okay, so the Nasdaq trading volumes are known to be the higher and more volatility than other major indices, which enables the traders to speculate on a day-to-day price inflation. Note that increasing of volatility also rises the risk of losses, right? The more volatility it is, the more money we make, the more losses again we can be able to make if the market goes against our prediction, right? Our future prediction, where the market is gonna go. So the Nasdaq is subjected to the US regulations, oversight, and the federal exchange rules. So traders have relative safety net for their activities, although all investment and trading, it involves risk. So because of it's one of the US, companies, it is regulated on, United States. So it has a little bit of safety when you are trading Nasdaq. So instead of having a crazy volatility because of there's 100 companies, but now the rules of US, they give them, to say that this is only volatility that you can offer on the CFDs for people to trade. But investment, it always have volatility. All right. So this is US 100 companies. Okay, this is how the companies does list themselves on a Nasdaq stocks, right? So they have to be eligible companies, must be traded exclusively on a Nasdaq exchange. So you have exactly first register yourself on a Nasdaq exchange so that you can be listed under Nasdaq. They also must have an average daily volume of 2,000 shares, have been published, traded for at least 3 months, be free from bankrupt or proceeding, submitting quarterly and annually financial as well. This is what moves the Nasdaq 100 index, right? I don't know if you guys, you can see there's a strong historical performance. There's a global social and the political events. There's the economic landscape. There's trade wars, individual company performance, right? So right now we can see the Nasdaq already is been berishing all the way. Pretty much this could be one of these could be the reason why it's doing that. So individual company performance, when Apple releasing the new product, Microsoft come up with the new product, obviously if they make more money, it will show itself on a chart. You see the market, the Nasdaq itself reacting on a chart. The strong historical performance, that's a technical analysis, analyzing your Nasdaq based on what has been happening before. If the market goes, okay, when the COVID-19 started, Nasdaq was sitting at 10,000, I think on a 9,000. Our highest, range that we were looking for, we were wishing to get to 11,000, and it get to the 11,000. What happened is it continued pushing because there's other companies that they were benefiting during COVID, making money during COVID, although also they are also listed under Nasdaq. It moves from the 11,000 to 15,000 to 16,000. Now it drop again back to 13,000, right? So strong historical performance. When we are trading this, we should always look at this thing that is here, if it's happening at that particular time. Individual companies, what companies listed on the Nasdaq, especially major 5, because there are 100, there are over 100. And you're not going to be able to, to check all those companies. But the top 5, you can be able to, to know what's going on with the top 5 companies, especially from Apple, Microsoft, Amazon. You can be able to know what's going on if they have a new product or if they're actually, losing money in the market. A global social and political events, we already seen during, COVID-19. We have seen again during the war in Ukraine and Russia crisis. We have seen how the market has been performing. The Nasdaq itself has been performing. Trade wars, we witnessed ourselves when Donald Trump had a trade war with China, with the President Xi Jinping. We saw the Nasdaq moving from the price of 9,000 all the way to the 11,000. So these are things that actually drive Nasdaq to go all the way up. Any questions so far on the Nasdaq? What moves the Nasdaq? So far, so good. Okay. So if I ask him, Abby, what move The Nasdaq.
It's Milano, Yusuf.
Oh, it's Milano. Yeah, Mr. Milano.
Yeah, like you just said now, there are different components,
Yes.
especially your composite, whereby different companies are listed. And then under each component, especially your bio securities, and then under your health,
Yeah.
each one of them contribute to your Nasdaq.
To
So
Nasdaq.
it depends on that specific period, which one performs well. Like you just said now, during the COVID,
Yes.
medical companies, insurances, they made a lot of money. So that's when Nasdaq benefited very well.
Yes.
So that is busy melting and it is disappearing. And now they're looking at alternatives now where they can leverage again from. And that's the reason why now Nasdaq is busy dropping.
Yes. 100%. You see, you got it there. So all the time when there's things happening like that, you know, COVID-19 wars, there's another war cooking right now between, you know, China and Taiwan. We should always know most of these, especially these two instruments that I'm talking about today, Nasdaq and energy and oil. These are mostly instruments that moves based on these criteria. All right. So most of the time we're wondering how to trade in Nasdaq 100. There are several approaches you can, you know, take to trade or invest in the Nasdaq index. You can trade individual stocks on the index, Nasdaq focus on the ETF or index tracker fund, or actually open a contract for difference with a trading account. So this is what we offer, a contract of a difference. With a trading account with the Globex 360, you'll be able to participate in Nasdaq. You can also trade via options based on the cash price, known as the spot or the future contracts. So those are the options. The one that I was talking about, Nasdaq future, you trade based on the option, having the option of what it will happen in future, predicting in the future. Then you're gonna get the benefit in future. But we don't offer Nasdaq future at the moment. Okay. So CFDs, if you are interested in learning how to trade, you know, Nasdaq linked instrument without owning the underlying stock, all you can do is to buy the CFD. So without you go maybe and buy a stock of a Nasdaq, because itself you can buy as a stock, as a share price, right? If you don't want to do that, you can come to the brokers like us, like Globex 360, and be able to trade a CFDs, contract for difference. A CFD is an agreement between a broker and a trader to exchange the differences in the value of underlying security between the beginning and the end of the contract, often less than 1 day, less than a minute, less than an hour, whatever time frame you're going to hold the trade, right? So you might find other brokers, they will write, they said, open a CFD account or CFD standard account. I remember there was a client asked me that, no, he's looking for a CFD, account. I said, no, man, it's the same with the standard account that we have. We said, no, it has to be written CFD account. So it's just the same. CFDs, it actually means the agreement between a broker's Globex 360 and a trader, you and me, to exchange the difference in a value that are underlying security between the beginning, the opening price, to the end of the contract, which is the closing price of the trade that you take. These allow you to go long or short. The index, a higher value and the volatility makes the Nasdaq 100 one of the most tradable CFD instrument globally. Note, however, that highlighted volatility contributes to the risk as well. Okay, so again, it has so many people who trade Nasdaq. So many people trade Nasdaq. And that's another advantage when you're trading Nasdaq, because it has a lot of people. So they always have the price feed on a Nasdaq that you can be able, to trade and make some money and make something out of it. Okay, all right. So these are, strategies that you can use. Pretty much we know all this type of a strategy. Swing traders, you can have, it can be a day trader, you can be a position trader. It will be up to you which method you want to use to actually trade, Nasdaq. I'm sure everyone know what swing trade is, day trader and positioning trader, right? Anyone who don't know what is this? The one who don't know. Okay, looks like we're good on this one. Okay, guys, the Zoom session is gonna cut in 5 minutes. Please rejoin again so that we can finish the session with the topic of energy, with the energy topic, ne? Oh, we're already on the energy. So maybe before we jump on the energy, we can just go again, maybe try to check on a Nasdaq, because we were talking about, here it is. Okay. So we're looking at a bigger time frame. If we look at a smaller time frame, look at it. From 18 August, it's been dropping. Imagine if you were actually, open a position of a sell from the 18 August until right now, which is, it was yesterday. It's not even, long ago, it was yesterday. But if you go on a 1 hour, it shows you it's been dropping all the way, at least from the 15th, where it was ranging and tried all the way drop. So again, it says based on the past history, past movement. So you check, you go to a bigger time frame, trying to check, see if you can be able to see the market where it's been going, for a past year or for a past month and so on and so forth. Okay. All right. Do you want a headphone? Do you want a headphone?
For?
Whatever you're laughing at,
No,
so that you can listen it properly.
No, it's fine.
Okay,
It's
you
fine.
good? All right. Okay. So who's trading Nasdaq now or today? Who's actually preparing to trade Nasdaq or trade Nasdaq? All right, pretty much it looks like a nice setup of a sell. It might come all the way maybe to drop at this position because of this resistance here. You can see from the 3rd of August, been resisting at this position a lot at this level. So it might come to drop at this position, but this is the highest take profit that you can have, the highest TP that you can, use to take this level. This is the biggest one. It's on the 12,967 from 13,198. Pretty much, it might not get to, to this level. It might not get to 12,900, Maybe if it has to push to retest, maybe it might get to 13,100, somewhere around there. 13,100. Then it can be able to again start picking up. The reason why they always say that Nasdaq it's a buy instrument is because of there's a lot of people who trade Nasdaq, and there's a lot of companies who is listed on a Nasdaq index. Each and every company, they produce a product, and they have the way that they do their business on their company. Each and every company listed on that, they want to make a profit. There's no company that will want to lose money, right? So no matter how much a Nasdaq will drop, let's say, for example, on a monthly time frame, a Nasdaq dropped to 10,000 level, which it was long ago, around 2020 or around 2020, somewhere around there, on a 11,000 level. The companies will continue popping up money, pumping up, increasing their investment on a Nasdaq company, on a Nasdaq stocks, so that it can spike up. the more it spike up, their share price is going up. So they're never going to allow this type of instrument to drop all the way below. That is why we call it's a buy instrument. When it drops, it's just looking for, retracement, then it catch up again. Oh, Mjojo, what's the question? Oh, everything, Mjojo. Everything is good, right? Okay. So guys, it's gonna cut in a minute. Please rejoin again. When we come back, we have to look at crude oil and the Brent oil. So crude and the Brent, this is a chart of WTI, which is they call it crude. See how it's been performing for past from 15 August all the way to now.